the part of our final event that is dedicated to the panels. And in these panels, what we tried to do was to exploit the impact of the results that we have heard, because we have heard that we had many results. And we try now in these 4 panels in a thematic way to exploit really these results and to see how they had impacted in governance. That is our first panel. And in 3 more thematics in education and so on that we will see later. But so now the moderator of this session, it's a pleasure to us to have him with us because we were companions during a long time in this project. It's Andreas HOLLSTEIN, the previous mayor of Altena. So please, Andreas, now the floor is yours, please.
Okay, dear Maria, dear KYRIAKOS, dear participants, it's a great honor to speak to you from Altena to introduce a little bit the session we will have later on. And the main question of this session is what is governance and the influence of volunteers to governance, to new governance, and the influence of the governance to the volunteers who are willing to do something in town. So as I remember from my experience, the traditional system was that we have a mayor or a mayoress and a town council deciding everything what is happening in the town. That's more or less the same all over Europe. In Germany during the 1970s, I think in many countries it was like this. There was a start of a participation process of citizens, mostly as a better qualified information, not more. Some decades later, this turned in a more qualified way. People got involved more deeply into politics, but still the decisions were made in the town council and through the mayor or the mayoress. We started at this moment to engage or to include fringe groups which were not in the center of interest in the participation of the first step. And we created also all around Europe the role as co-producers of the town council. So sometimes people even were able to fulfill. And for me, afterwards, in the new century, the governance style is changed. And we heard this also a little bit through the speeches in the morning, that the function of a mayor is more the role of a motivator or a troubleshooter or a moderator of processes which are done and mostly successful done by the volunteers. The council in this new governance style is more an institution which has a duty and the responsibility for the financial resources. Of course, this is in the constitution, in the local constitution, the role of the council. And of course, also responsibility for the framework, the basic guidelines, the political support, and so on. The citizens are more powerful. Citizens are co-creators. They are creators of actions. They are the decision makers, their own. In my eyes, this has to be, because if you like to have them participating on a long way or for many years, they must be satisfied with their role, and therefore they need the role of decision makers also. And they are the producers of the actions, and they have the ownership of the actions. So I think in my eyes it would be a big fault if mayors or mayoresses think that these success of the actions of the volunteers are belonging to them. The role of the administration is a little bit more complicated. They have to stay on one hand in the background, building bridges, creating opportunities for the volunteers, and helping them as a mediator and enabling them to fulfill their actions and bring them to success. And on the other side, the administration has behalf of the mayor to be a steady bridge in the function between the administration, the council, the mayor, and on the other hand, the volunteers. And they have an early warning system, or the duty of early warning if something is not developing in the right way. And last and least, they have to help the volunteers to get sustainability in their actions. So we heard in the morning that sometimes there is a change between the people because they got older and they were not able to act anymore, and you need new people coming in this process to go on with the action of volunteerism in a town. So over all these, I would like to discuss with some expert later on. I think Maria will introduce them, or I can introduce them. And for the beginning, this should be a short input to discuss about and discuss about even some elements of this. Thanks.
Thank you, Andreas. Now we have a very short movie, and then, of course, it's up to you to introduce your guests.
So we have 4 different programs that help the people from the nursery house up to the elder house, people in need. And all these programs are under a municipal volunteering committee with president, the mayor. And we do all our best in volunteering cases to help the people, from young up to the elder people.
El que estem treballant en el projecte URBACT és crear una red de voluntaris per a treballar cap a l'exclusió de la pobresa social, l'exclusió social i caminar tots junts cap a un desenvolupament urbà sostenible.
Mogu reći da je ta jedna komunikacija koja je bila i prije na jednoj zavidnoj razini sad dignuta na jedan novi i viši nivo i da danas imamo stvarno jako dobru suradnju i lokalne samouprave i lokalnih kulturnih odgojno-obrazovnih ustanova, poduzetnika, građana, dakle svih društveno angažiranih ljudi, a i zapravo pokazujemo svi skupa primjerom ostalim ljudima koji imaju interesa također da se uključe i da daju svoj doprinos razvoju grada Pregrade.
So up to you, Andreas.
Okay. Then I would like to introduce the guys and the lady who are on the floor together with me. So first, the lady, of course, Maria Marjanovic from Pregrada in Croatia is the first one to enter the stage. Sergio Campanella from Caprisi in Italy, and Dimitris Koutsapos from Athienou in Cyprus, of course, as the lead partner. And we have a special guest, Jose Antonio Lopez from Melgaço, whom I know from the Regrow project very well. And even he has, with the project in Melgaço, many relationships to volunteer work. So I think we have a good panel which can influence the discussion for all. And my first question I think we start with Maria again, is a question: which task do you see in the aspect of governance in your town for the future?
Hello to everyone. I must say that all the members of the Pregrada's ULG are contributing through their work to raise the quality of life for the citizens of all age, different backgrounds, and different needs. By setting up the ULG, their common reflection and work, we have achieved much to improve the quality of mutual communication and cooperation between different stakeholders, which are essential for the future social and social development of the city. Establishment of ULG and this governance model was a win-win situation for all of us. We have achieved better coordination of social activities. We have improved our social activities and services. We have addressed new areas for improvement. We have raised motivation of citizens for participation in decision-making process. And most important, we have found a way how to ensure sustainability of our work. City discovered that the only solution to face the increasing scarcity of resources is to co-share and to co-implement solutions. City became aware of importance of ULG work, their motivation, their enthusiasm, their activities. ULG members became main promoters in the city of volunteerism, intergenerational cohesion, importance of participation in decision-making process, and relevance of corporate social responsibility. What is most important for me that city became aware of achievements that we have made through previous years, and with establishment of the ULG and work through the ULG, we even go further. With this corona crisis that we have to face with, our communication and collaboration got even stronger, as we were all facing this new situation, and we had to find solutions to keep work going, to keep activities going, to keep social support going, even to improve social services in order to adjust them to the new situation. As we all know, we had to deal with new way of work through this crisis. Online work, online communication, online meetings, and then we became aware of problems that we have in our community, that people are not so have technological education. So that was the main idea for our new projects in the city. Because as the whole world turned to online work, online services, we had to deal with technological education programs, especially with older population. There were some new projects, for example, our City Red Cross, in which in project that is running now, they bought new technological devices in order to teach elderly people how to use it and how to get to the information as fast as they can. Also, our city museum and city library went to online work, so we have to adjust to our services to the this new situation. So we had online exhibitions. People could go to the museum through videos. We had to somehow ensure continuation of our work because, as Maria said, we have to be here for the people because situation has changed. We had to change our way of work, so we have to find new solutions how to help people and tell them that we are here no matter how situation bad is. So we really adjust our work by providing our online services, and we are planning to financially support education, especially for elderly people, and to find like some we have to finance and make some room in our building just to provide technological support, because many people still doesn't have internet here, doesn't have computers, doesn't have technology that is needed now to adjust this new situation. So we are planning to financially support and ensure that kind of help to our citizens. Our ULG will still continue to work, but now it will be board for question of social inclusion and solidarity as advisory body to our city council. They will have annually budget, so they can provide some activities along the way. And I think that our journey through these 2 years really showed how important it is to be here for each other, and how important it is to regularly communicate, to work together on ideas, because with ULG you have different donors at one table, different skills, different methods of the work, different ideas, and it's much easier than for us to make some good ideas and results on what we want to gain in the future. So this is all.
Okay. Thank you, Maria. I would give the floor, please, to Dimitri. Dimitris, because I think the lead partner has had before, as a best case example, a lot of good experience in volunteer workings. It's a good job which was done by KYRIAKOS. But as you know, as a younger guy, you have to develop these for the future. So if you need see your experience you took in Athienou through the other towns and the development of Corona and the time going by since the project was founded, where are the main task for Athienou in the future? Because I know that you have still a council of volunteers with a high grade of formalization, but where should Athienou be placed in 10 years in the future? So you have
yes, thank you, Dr. HOLLSTEIN, for this question. Now, I think in order to see the future, we need to see a bit of the past. And the Municipal Council of Volunteerism here in Athienou was founded in 1970, but it didn't all started in 1970. I mean, Athienou, by doing our research as younger people here to understand what was happening all these years. In Athienou before 1970, for years now, for decades, nobody remembers, there was a strong social cohesion. I mean, neighbors were helping each other if they had problems. And another element is that Athienou is a very agricultural town, village. And as I said before, it's at the edge of the Messauria plain, which is the main the plains of Cyprus that was used for cultivating wheat and making bread. And also Athienou had because it was the center of Cyprus, it also had the trade of carriages. They were carrying goods all over Cyprus, especially because it was between three cities, Nicosia, Larnaca, and Famagusta. Famagusta now is Turkish occupied. And during the decades of 50s, 60s, and 70s, there were decades of political turmoil in Cyprus. And different groups were trying to have an influence over the town. And some of these groups, even from different political areas, they managed to collaborate with each other and to have municipality. And that was very, very important back then. And I think this culture is being transferred today. The fact that people from different it doesn't matter if it's political, if you're rich or poor, from different classes, they are together on the table and they decide, everyone decides together for the welfare and the good of the society of Athienou. I think this is very important. Now, as I said, in 1970, the board was created. 1974 was a milestone. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much for the past, but I think it's very important for the future. It was a milestone for Cyprus because of the Turkish invasion, and we still have the severe problems today. And Athienou, I think, it's Cyprus scaled down. Athienou would be much, much different if it wasn't for the Turkish invasion. It would be an industrial center, it would be an economic center, it would have much more population, it would have much more growth, but unfortunately, 80% because of the area, because it's very close to the three cities I mentioned before. And however, it was very, very obvious that the way to sustain this problem in Athienou, 80% of its rural area is occupied, and also the urban area is in the buffer zone. It was very important to invest on social cohesion. And this social cohesion kept everyone together and kept Athienou, despite the problems, it kept a growth, a very important growth, not as Athienou would be if it wasn't for these points. But so this is another element that shows that growth, social cohesion is very important for a place to overcome difficulties. Now we talk about the pandemic. Social cohesion is, I don't know, maybe it is the solution for overcoming the pandemic and developing resilience. We're talking today about the problems in the economy. We're talking about the problems in democracy, the way they restrict our right to move, our civil liberties. But if you think about it, yes, this is a time of a crisis, and the only way to overcome a crisis is to come together. So, in the future, in the short-term future, we're gonna be in a position where we need to face the results of the pandemic. And I think this is an excellent example, and not just for the 8 cities of the transfer network, but for everybody, to invest on volunteerism, on social policies, on creating this kind of networks of solidarity. Now, over the years in Athienou, the 4 programs were developed. There was an elder house, a nursery house, a welfare committee, and of course the center for adults that's used for many different events or policies, to develop policies for the adult population of Athienou. It doesn't matter if you receive help from the state, or if you're just an adult for Athienou. There are services and events for everybody. So now, at the same time, we can see that the board, the MCV, it had a stricter character. It had like it was older people, usually on a pension age, because they had time. It was like attitude towards things. Now with the interaction with URBACT and the formation of the ULG, we have a committee or a group with a different character. It's more relaxed. We don't talk about the president, we talk about the coordinator, we don't talk about a lot of formalism. We talk about the people, a more bottom-up approach. Policies for the people, from the people. And I think this is also very, very important thing for the future. Now, a third thing, and this is difficult and we have to invest on it, is we need to manage to lower the average age that is part of the governance, not just the volunteers, but the governance structure. I think that the average age now, and I know the reasons I talked before, older people have more time to spend. Younger people, they have less time today. I mean, the life struggle is hard. They need to work for hours. They need to invest time for their families, for their children. But at the same time, I think that there is a lot of people that want to offer, even young people, they want to be engaged in the community, at least in a small community like Athienou. And we need to find the ways for these people to find the time. Doesn't have to be hours and hours, to come together, talk, respect their opinion, give them initiative, and create something that will sustain. Now, you said in the next 10 years. I don't know, many things might change in 10 years, especially in Cyprus, especially in Athienou. Okay. If the situation stays like this, we're gonna continue pretty much on the same this course now that was set through the URBACT program, but things might also change. And if they change, we also need to be ready for that scenario. And when I say change, I mean have a breakthrough in the Cyprus problem, of course. We are always nagging about it to Europeans, but we need to, that's our problem. Okay, I have some notes here.
But I think you answered my question already. I think we can turn around a little bit more, and
yes, please.
If you agree, I would like to go to Sergio, to Italy, and ask him what were the main impact of the program of volunteer cities to the governance style of your town in Italy. What were the lessons you learned? Where are the things you said, okay, we did very well in the past, and where are the duties for the future? Please, Sergio, you have the floor.
Thank you, Andreas. First of all, hi, Andreas. It's very fine to see you again. And yes, we had a very long digesting of these very interesting good practice. But I have to say that the municipality, with this mayor, that is a new mayor, because when we started with this program, there was another mayor, is not so, it was not so aware of the importance of participation, of citizens' participation. So the effort was double. But I have to say, after almost 3 years, that a lot of results were obtained by the participation of all kinds of citizens. You know, we managed to have now something very similar to the MCB of Athienou. We have a statute, we have an internal regulation, it was inaugurated and is beginning to work. But the secret of this little success was the fact that from the very beginning we have involved not only third sector actors in the municipality, but as cities are conceived as mothers of the sustainable development, this mother has to be let work with 5 helices, and we applied directly the quintuple helix scheme that implies that we didn't involve only public and private spheres, so businesses, for example, but all cognitive institutions present in Capizzi, like schools. And it was very important for involving new generations and sensitize them, for example. Also training training institutions, and we don't have research institutions nor universities because universities are so far, but we involved all these kind of cognitive institutions acting in the city. For sure, the organized civil society, so all kinds of associations, and not only the ones dealing with social problems, but also resource persons, that kind of civil society that is not organized. And we have a lot of retired people who have the know-how on ancient crafts that we wanted to valorize. And this was another important thing that we have put into the MCB. Nowadays, the MCB is a sort of bigger ULG. The example of the ULG for us was very, very important in Capizzi because everyone knows that can have his voice participating in the ULG before and now into the MCB. So this was the main result that we have, and we have learned a lot by the exchange of among the members of these ULG and other cities like Altena, for example, and because with Stelberg we had a lot of good ideas to put in place, but also from Pregrada, where the intergenerationality is something already done, not to be constructed. And so for us was easier to take profit of these examples in order to put in value and highlight activities that maybe were done but not with the organizational scheme that this project gave us. So this has been very important. Last but not least but not last, sorry, was also this plan for the social economy, because we needed a redemption of the social fabric of Capizzi with a real inclusion, but with a hope for the so many long-term unemployed people among juvenile and female people. And the action plan for the social economy that we have constructed day by day with the ULG and that now is heritage of the MCV is a practical instrument. It's a practical tool that we have in our horizon during the next years in order to create employment, in order to, through this kind of new startups, stimulate other people to invest, not only youngsters, but also elderly people and also local business women or also businessmen who understand the profitability of these examples given by the social economy. So we have thought a plan through the involvement of the ULG in our MCV that involves all the sectors of the municipalities, not only the social affairs one, and that gives practical instruments in order to revitalize the quality of life of the city. And this is the bigger instrument we had through this practice of the MCV. What for the future? I don't know if this lesson can be taken into the future with the same level of learning, but I think that it has been a so good learning made so far that is very difficult to lose it in the next months and in the next years. And also from the reactions that we are having thanks to our last event, I think that there is a very good possibility to spread this model to other little cities that are in the neighborhoods of Capizzi and that are seeing by now Capizzi as something new to give attention, something that is managing to solve a lot of problems, especially during this pandemic.
Okay, thanks, Sergio. The last in the panel is José Antonio Lopez. I may introduce him a little bit more than the others because he was not inside the Volunteering City network. He was with us as a lead partner, if I may say us, further on in Altena in the Regrow URBACT City network, but he did something which was very successful, I may say, with Melgaço, and this concerned also the engagement of volunteers in pop-up shops, which should bring more life to the city, small city of Melgaço, also with some problems. And also to you, José, as a friend, the question, how did the story from Melgaço turn to such a great success with TV and so on? And from your view as an expert, external expert who went into Melgaço, what did the process of the engagement of volunteers changed in between to the administration and my friend Mayor for the future? Yeah, you have the floor, please.
Okay, thank you. I have to say that this was a very rewarding experience. The URBACT methodology that we implemented there was effectively a new way of thinking urban governance, and I may say that it was a disruptive way of thinking, an innovative one. First of all, the ULG as a body, it was considered by all like a round table of equals, where everyone sits as an equal, even the mayor, and all have the same weight in their opinion and decision effective. So this was a big change in procedures. It was, as said by others, a bottom-up new procedure on city governance. What came out of it? Of course, they all felt more empowered. The citizens sitting there felt actually that they had a word and a saying in decision making, and they had an effective cause-effect power, and they have action power too. So up there in Melgaço, and as an external consultant, I think that what we leave with this experience, with the URBACT experience on our network, is that we can see on the civil society a sense of drive and optimism now, and they feel that they can come forward, speak their opinion, but more than that, they can really take action. They can really have a place where they can put on their ideas, discuss them, see them approved or not, and make them implemented. And this gives the whole society, volunteers and all, a sense of trust between them, and a sense of commitment with the town's destinies and the actions. Besides the actual actions of pop-up shops or NGOs platforms, that I think that's mainly the strongest idea that I want to stress, is that these bottom-up procedures become very effective and become stronger and stronger by the time, and probably in the near future they will get fully natural in a city governance politics.
Thank you, Jose. We have time now, I think, of 15 minutes. So if I would like, or I would like to bring in that with one sentence, it's difficult, to create the main duty of the future in your eyes in the URBACT process for the town. You understood? So if you look to the URBACT process you implemented now in Melgaço, I will start with Jose, if you allow me.
Okay.
And you have one sentence to make, or one element to stress out. What would it be? What is the great result of the URBACT method in your experience in Melgaço? But only one sentence.
I think it's civil empowerment.
Okay. And for you, Sergio, the same question.
For me, following precise action plans.
Yeah. Now we have, I take in Maria, then Dimitris.
Yes, I would say, so please, Maria, please go.
Oh, you can go first, Dimitris.
Okay, thank you. I would say capacity building is very important.
Okay. And
Andreas?
Maria, last.
Andreas, could you please say the question again, because I have connection problems.
Okay, no problem. The question was, if you are looking now in your town to the process of the URG methodological
Okay.
of URBACT and what it brought to your town, and you have one sentence or one short explanation in only 5 or 6 words, which is the main result of the URBACT way of acting, which was brought to your town?
I would say it brought connection, awareness of achievements that we have made until now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, not very good.
Okay, now?
Better.
It's better. Okay, the most valuable thing that I think it was that we put all key stakeholders at one table, and for us it brought more connections, more I would say we are stronger now than we were before. So we believe in each other, we have support in each other, and we know that anything we wanted to do, we have someone to help us. So we are not alone.
Thank you. And if you, we know that Adele is listening from Paris, I think, or might be from Paris, that you are listening. If you all four can give one wish for the future processes of URBACT to Adele and the team, of course, please, Maria, what would it be?
For me, it will be to continue support cities through this kind of transfers, because we have learned a lot. We made friends, so in every occasion we can contact them and ask for help. So I think that we grown up on the local level and also on international level. So I want to thank you all, and we also have support from Maria, Joao. Sergio was also very helpful because he also have many experience in this field. So I think that most valuable is that we made friends, or also on international level. So I want to thank them all, because they all helped us grow even further and make stronger connections on local level. So thank you.
Thank you, Maria. I think they are doing quite a good work in Paris, of course. Adele knows it, and she hears it, I think, in the last weeks very often, and it's right spoken of you, Maria. But what I would like to hear is more, what are things which can URBACT do better, even on the high standard URBACT has? And what can the team implement for the future in Paris that is a need of our town? So perhaps you can take this difficult question, Dimitris. Where is the task, Dimitris? What URBACT can do better or make more easily for the town in the work?
Well, I don't want to criticize URBACT, of course.
No, nobody wants to criticize.
I want to talk from the perspective of this particular transfer network. We said it many times when this started. We were like, where are we going? This is like a soft, very soft policy that URBACT is helping us to improve. We were thinking in terms of social welfare. But then when we started interacting with URBACT, we realized a whole new world of not just social cohesion and social inclusion. It was a new world of urban development, sustainable urban development. And if you see this, the bottom-up approach, the participatory approach, I think it's the glue between no, sorry, Adele, I don't want to make this. There's nothing to criticize about. I think URBACT is great. I'm just talking how you can.
But you all, it's a chance now of Sergio, and then later on to Jose Antonio, that we heard from Adele that criticism is not bad, a bad thing. It's a good thing, because if we learn lessons, then we can work successfully in the future. And I think this we all try. So Sergio, please, in a short word, what is the main thing you would like to change a little bit inside the URBACT process?
Sorry, but I cannot understand you. I cannot hear you.
Okay.
Show us.
Then I take. Okay. It was a question. What is the need which perhaps URBACT can make more successful in the next round of networks, seen from your perspective?
Okay. I think that, as Dimitri said, participation is the first ingredient of all success. So we have to strengthen and to go on with the participation, also with attention to this principal helix that is very important, not to create sectoral participation, but a participation spread to all kinds of citizens and their organizations. But I think that as URBACT is giving lessons for this from its first edition, as Adele can testify because she was with me with a very ancient project that proposed this kind of ULGs that at that time were called local fora. I think that another ingredient that is very useful to strengthen the URBACT message is that one to valorize the good results of these projects, maybe creating new networks in the future that can go on with the work, the good work already made, and strengthen this work. Maybe, for example, also by sustaining the results that these networks created. This could be a good idea, not to lose the heritage we have from these transfer networks, and also by other kinds of projects in the ambit of URBACT. So I think that going on and strengthening the results and the actions made so far would be a very good direction to follow.
Mm-hmm. Jose, you heard the question, please.
Yeah, perfectly. I agree. Mainly in the line of what Sergio just said. I think that's there's always an important word to say about the URBACT experience on good practices, and URBACT has a large portfolio of good practice that surely would come needed for small towns all over Europe. I have to say that it's a pity that on this second wave, some of the main leader partners didn't come forward to further extend their transfer experience. And for us, it is a pity that we might fear that some of the good practice become just a file in URBACT's treasure box and not become useful for new partners and new towns. The other point I want to stress it, and it's for the last, I think that we might feel a bit lonely in times after URBACT. So sustaining the practices locally would be a great thing to think how to do it. And for us, that for some cities that came into URBACT as new, with no experience before, some further support from the Secretariat and URBACT would be most useful.
Thank you, Jose.
Can I also say something?
No, we have only, in my time schedule, we have only 2 minutes last for this panel. And Maria gave me Joao Rauch gave me the duty to give us a short summary of the main points you made in the last hour. So the last hour, in my eyes, there were some remarkable things you said. I remember the first was from Maria, who stressed out that Corona was very difficult because the volunteers were not on the same. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Okay, that Corona was was a big problem because the volunteers were not on the same level on technical support than the town administrations. Dimitris mentioned the social cohesion and the need of a bottom-up approach. The bottom-up approach was the main thing which came back during all remarks of Sergio and also of Jose. I think this is one of the most important things we have to keep in mind, that we need a very strong bottom-up approach for the future. And one remarkable sentence was, URBACT methodology changed the way of thinking in our town. And I think this is one thing which will open the heart of Adele, because I think this is the aim of URBACT even. So with this very short summary, at 50 minutes past 1, I can give the floor back to Maria. So Maria, mission completed.
And well accomplished, Andreas. Thank you so much. Yes,
it was a pleasure for me.
This was a nice wrap up, and really this is also a sentence that strikes me very deeply, yeah, because I think that it's really great. So I think that we have everybody. So good afternoon. I hope you had a good break at lunch, and that you are again revigorated for an interesting afternoon. So, as I said in the beginning of this sequence of panels, we have 4 sessions in which we try to discuss the impact of all the results that we heard in the morning in different thematics related with the life of cities. So in the first panel in the morning, we heard the impact in governance. And now in the afternoon, we have 3 panels that are related with the impact of those results in local social policy, so the municipal policy, in the corporate citizenship, so with the companies, and also on the education field. And in each one of the panels, like we did in the one in the morning, we have one guest that some are cities from other networks, but that also are related with our thematic. And in the case of the corporate citizenship, it will be one company. So this panel will be moderated by the head of the national URBACT point in Greece and Cyprus, responsible for Cyprus and Greece, that is Maria PAPOUTSI. So before leaving the floor to Maria, just to say that we have the same procedure as in the first panel. That is, Maria will introduce the team, then there will be a short video, and then Maria will make the moderation. So thank you, and Maria, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Actually, this panel should be named after, Maria's panel, not for my sake, but because all of us is either Maria or Marius. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. It is so nice to be here, even virtually, for the final event that has so many show us in terms of volunteerism fighting against social exclusion and poverty. Of course, volunteerism is a term that we hear lately a lot, not only by municipalities, but also in the private sector. And nowadays, it even starts at the early stages of life. But let's see, is it just a trend or has identifiable impacts on policies? And as in many documentaries say, my name is Maria PAPOUTSI and I'm the National URBACT Point for Greece and Cyprus. And together we will try to identify the impact on municipal social policies for the next hour. For this reason, we have with us 4 wonderful representatives from 4 different cities around Europe that participate either in this transfer network or in other transfer networks of the URBACT program. They are here with us in order to share the experience. And before we start introducing our panelists, let's first of all see one video that the city of Athienou has prepared as an introduction of the session. Is the video ready or not?
Isn't it sharing? I will share it again.
No, there's no share.
Oh, okay, I will share it again. I hope it...
Great.
Gavrula, we don't
Yes, but I don't know why. Okay, I will try one more thing and I...
Shall we show the video later, Maria?
Yes, we can try if you want to. Maybe when Stavroula is ready afterwards, after the first question, maybe we can try one more time if you don't mind, huh?
Exactly, in order not to consume the time.
Okay. So let me just start. As I already mentioned, in the discussion that will shortly now take place, we have representatives from Altena in Germany, Altea in Spain, Rading in Poland, and Espoo in Finland. So let's start our virtual tour of discussion with Altena and Ms. Annette Wesemann. So I would like to ask you, Annette, you have been a partner of this transfer network of volunteering cities for almost 2 years now. which were the main changes that were integrated in your city by the transfer model, and which one do you consider to be the biggest of all? The floor is yours.
Okay, so I think the biggest challenge for us was, like I tried to explain in my introduction, was to open our existing structure for new kind of model. We have the Stellwerk here in Altena since more than 10 years, and it's a grown structure, and the people are a little bit like a closed shop. They work together for a long time. They know what they want to do. They have their own networks and really good networking. But to make it more open for new people, it was really a big challenge. And that's, for me, the point. We've learned a lot from the other models in the transnational meetings or in the visits or whatever. So to try to open it for more interested people. Okay.
Yes, of course. And of course, we have the intergenerational model, meaning that younger people helping older people and vice versa, the elder people are helping younger people, especially for the elderly people. Do you find that this has helped their quality of living and giving more reasons to offer in the community and in general the social life of a city?
Yes, of course, it's a win-win situation for both sides, for the younger people and for the elderly people. Of course, we tried to do it a long time ago with smartphone courses and open it that the younger people try to explain how to use tablets and smartphones or whatever. And after this connection, there is a lot of new activities through the generations. So I think it's really a win-win situation, especially now in the pandemic, because in this situation with COVID, it's very nice for the old people when they can use social medias and smartphones to get connected and get informations and whatever. I think that's a very important thing. But there are more ideas we try to bring, not only the technical ideas. Mm-hmm.
Okay, just before I move on to the next panelist, is it possible, Savrula, to see the video now, or shall we leave it for later on?
I will try, because the problem is not with the video itself, it's when I try to share, but I will try in a different way. And can you see it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Okay, one more try, and otherwise it's okay. Yeah, I do not know why, but I cannot share, but maybe
that's okay.
Yes, Savrula,
that's okay.
Yes, from the folder I shared with you, someone else can try to share the video.
Maybe Dimitris, is it easy for you to do it?
Dimitris or Natasha, maybe? Natasha, can you do it? We cannot hear you. Natasha? We didn't hear you, Natasha. You are muted.
Okay, maybe we should move on. The reason I'm still waiting for the video is that because someone has made a lot of effort, and I know that, and we are sorry for the technicalities that we are facing, but maybe we can show it at the end. Yes. Okay. Okay, I can move on now. So let me pass to another Mediterranean city, the city of Altena in Spain. I welcome Miss Maria Antonia. I don't know whether she can hear us and she can answer to our, she can take part in this panel. Is it possible for Maria?
Sorry to interrupt. No, she's not. She's having serious problems, and I'm trying to contact her on the phone, so I will be taking over. Alberto,
so Paloma,
yes.
Paloma, thank you. Paloma Verdu, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for taking the part of Ms. Maria Antonia. I know that there has been a lot going on, and there's a lot done with the social services within the transfer model, especially in your city. So I would like to ask you, have you seen the overall cohesion of the community, of your community, to be improved?
Yes, yes. The coordinated actions of volunteers allow us to optimize the municipal resources and focus them on the main aspects. At the same time, the joint action of associations and municipal technicians made it possible to offer better service to help the population in general. The coordination of the agents related to social services in town has generated new flows of information and training that have resulted in a better service for citizens. That's how the social services improved. Thank you to the better coordination with the volunteering actions.
Maria?
Yes.
I am going to try myself to share the video, okay? Please
can I just
yes.
Ask one more question, Paloma,
Yes.
regarding this cohesion she was talking about, because I would like specifically to ask her, especially with the pandemic, how this has helped towards or against the social cohesion of the community. Has it been in favor of the cohesion or not?
Yes, a lot. It definitely improved a lot. The coordination and the cohesion between social services and the associations. And I'm regret to say this, but thanks to the pandemic, the coordination between associations and the municipality regarding social services has improved.
Okay. Now, Maria, maybe you can.
So let me know if you can see
yes.
it.
Yes,
Perfect.
we can see it.
And here?
Not yet.
Not yet, yes.
It also looks very weirdly. It's weird. It's not smooth, the image.
It's okay now?
No.
There is no voice. Slow.
We can see
Maria,
it.
Maria, can you stop sharing and then click again on share?
Okay.
And click on share, and on the top select, there is a menu where it says for text and images, and if you click it before you share.
No. Well, I think that the best is that Maria goes on, and in the end,
yes.
we show the video.
Yes, I will try from a different computer, and we try manage.
Exactly. maybe we can share it with each other in any case. So let's go a little bit to the northern part of Europe in Poland. We have Mariusz from the city of Radlin. So Mariusz, I have a question that has been in my mind since the beginning of the discussion. How can and will you ensure that the model that has changed your city will last a long, long time? And what have you done towards its sustainability?
You can go on, Maria.
Mariusz is not here.
Mariusz? But he is here. Maybe he's
I'm here. I'm
muted.
here.
So then?
Have you heard my question, Mariusz?
Yes, I've heard.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, so thank you for the question. The answer is like this. In Radlin, we established a new day center for the children, new social center for all citizens. So we established a voluntary council. Maybe we have business council. So I think that in the next few years we won't have problems with these initiatives, because there are, of course, some infrastructural things, but also social projects related to these investments. So, in my opinion, we won't have problems with that. But what is very important to us is to have, how to say it properly, it's to have a very good level of managing, for example, our new social center, to get people there, to make people, you know, to make people happy or involved and be together in this center. I'm saying that in the context of, you know, beautiful buildings empty inside. So this is the challenge. So the level, the quality of the services should be very high, should be responsive to our citizens' needs. I hope that we will handle this. And if you could repeat the second questions, because I didn't understand, you know,
my question was whether you have done anything already in your municipality towards the sustainability of the model in your city.
But what do you mean? What kind of model?
Actions taken in order to make the model work in the future after the transfer network ends. What have you done towards to sustain, to have it for a long time there? What you have already done?
I think that the voluntary council will, you know, will give us some difficult word, sustainability of this project, this model. Because as you know, it isn't so simple to adapt, for example, every good practices from Athienou or from Altena or from Altena in Radlin and the other way, because every city is different, every country is different, societies are different. So it isn't so simple to and so obvious to have some sustainability of one or second idea in city. So it's much more complicated, but for sure we learn about the way of thinking that has KYRIAKOS in Athienou and other partners. So in my opinion, the honest thinking, the telling the truth, you know, to people, or providing real help in every city processes would be improved, using also methodology and rule and tools from this project.
So last but not least, of course, we have the city of Espoo in Finland. That's part of another network called Wings to Empower Citizens. This network promotes civic activism as well as solidarity and social inclusion. It all started with the Riga NGO house in 2013, and ever since it has helped the partners of the network to increase civil participation and citizen awareness. We have with us Maria Tilikala. I don't know whether I have pronounced it correctly. Hopefully I did. So Maria, could you please explain to us how did the volunteering and the participative approach impacted on the well-being of the community?
In Espoo, we had our own local ULG group, and we had many different NGOs together with the municipality workers all around the city kind of structure. And we were a lot discussing about voluntary work compared to smaller NGOs wanting to professionalize their actions. So that was one really interesting topic that we had, so that some small NGOs are just voluntary based, but they would like to professionalize and become maybe more stronger partners with the municipality. But at the same time, we really recognize the importance of volunteer work in many NGOs, and as our slogan is in our project is Wings to Empower Citizens. So everything that we do with NGOs is meant to create more opportunities for people living in Espoo to take part. It might be voluntary work in the NGO, but it might be also projects without any official organization behind them, but still they could maybe have festivals, city festivals, or suburb festivals, for example. So I think in Espoo, the idea is how we can create our city structure to be this kind of platform for people to take part in all the activities, but in those that they are most interested in and enthusiastic about. I hope I'm answering your question. It's slightly because we have a different kind of projects. It makes it, I have to kind of combine our project with yours and the questions.
Muted. You are muted, Maria.
I'm sorry. Censored then. Anyway, so it's a little bit difficult coming from another transfer network, but in any case, it's the core, the basis of your network is also very, very similar to what Athienou has proposed with its good practice. And of course, NGOs play a very, let's say, important role in this aspect in the municipality. I really like the idea of having people be more creative, as you mentioned, especially thinking about having a festival or having something else, or to have a platform in order to create events or to empower people to participate in the municipality. I have one last question that actually I would like to address to all of you because it's something that has been, I have been thinking all day long, let's say. So tomorrow, a representative of your city council comes to your office and tells you there is going to be only one change that is going to be carried out from the proposed model, and that they want you to make that choice. So what would be your suggestion? Can I please start from the city of Altena?
You please have to repeat what. There is someone come tomorrow in my bureau and ask me a question. What decision I have to?
You have to make a decision which change, one change you want to, you have only one change from the model that is going to be carried out from the proposed model. So they want you to make that choice. Which change would you propose that is essential for your city to adapt?
Okay, my experience here in Altena is that if we create projects, or if the citizens create projects, let me say in that way, there are a lot of people who will join it. So if I have to make the choice of the modules from our good practice, for me I would choose increase volunteerism projects, and the other things, it could be intergenerational, it could be on schools, it could be whatever. So I think with that choice, I'm on the way to get a lot of people involved and get a lot of project ideas that comes from the citizens, and that I think it's a very important thing, that not I'm in the government chose what is good for my town, the citizens themselves chose what's good for them.
Okay, thank you. Paloma, would you like to propose the change for your city?
Yes, okay, thank you, Maria, for the question. Let's see if I've got it right. Thinking about what you just said, what I would suggest is the municipality carry on and getting involved in similar projects like the volunteer cities. So we also we get the associations more involved in this kind of projects, so they've got their space, and that will motivate them to continue their work. And this way we will create like a nice network where other municipalities, and also from Spain, from the European regions, can benefit. So it's a way of motivation to the associations, because they are the real hard workers here. So I believe that that's the way to, through traveling, transnational meetings, exchanges, to get things better done.
Thank you. Marius?
Very good question, but very difficult. In my city, I would change. I will improve or put a new one idea, because people are different. We are different, environments. A variety of different people, who has a different level of knowledge, a different level of experience in different things, so from my point of view, I would have in my city some somebody who would be a manager of volunteerism. So it means person who has, the feeling of volunteerism, who has, of course, also special knowledge, who has experience, in whole the topic of social things, and who wants to work with people, because and that person has to coordinate all the volunteering actions, because in Radlin we have church, we have NGOs, you know, we have people in very different associations, but they are providing their own, you know, own things, own businesses, own activities, and they haven't common, you know, the common level of discussion. So this person is extremely important in my point of view, and without that kind of person, all the process of volunteerism is not so good, because someone has to not only coordinate, but to explain people different, you know, different level of knowledge, different level of engagement. It's very hard to explain, but for example, we've been in project, another URBACT project with Herlen city from Holland, from Netherlands, and they had in their city special unit of people who, you know, who were responsible for social things in the city, but in the area of, you know, how to engage new entrepreneurs in the empty areas of their city. So they have to know these people, they have no city, they have made relations. Oh, that's a good word. The coordinator of of volunteerism should have ability to make relations, really relations between people who want work and help other people, generally saying in volunteerism. Thank you.
Thank you, Marius. Maria from Athienou, would you like to add a few words?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I would like to answer a question because I really love it.
Yes.
It was difficult to choose, I have to say. Of course, there's so many things that
But you have one
needs
choice
to
to
go.
make, just
Yes.
one.
So in my mind, I chose one. So city of Espoo is a kind of a weird in a way, because we have 5 centers. We don't have one, but 5. And this creates kind of problems. Of course, there is benefit as well, but I would choose that there would be a sufficient space for NGOs and citizens to have their actions and provide their services in every single center or these areas of around these centers, because that is not the case in Espoo at the moment. But we have municipality owned spaces that are empty but are not given to anyone, so they are just kept empty for different reasons. So I would put money on those to renovate them and open them up and have maybe NGOs to run them or cooperate with many different NGOs to kind of give access, because we live in a country where most of the year you cannot have anything outside. So you really need a roof over your head. So that is my answer. But I really like also all of your ideas, and I have to say to Marius that I work as an NGO cooperation coordinator. So I'm not just coordinating voluntary work, but all this cooperation between municipality and NGOs. But I'm the only one in a very, very big city organizations, and those are needed a lot. This kind of people who are coordinating and work between different parties. So I liked your idea as well, Marius.
Okay,
And as
thank you.
Laura said in the chat, you can read it in my
Exactly.
work as well in our book that we have been working on in the Active NGOs project. So look at the chat slide commercial.
Yes, there is a link to the book. The NGO, the Active NGOs has published the book, as Laura mentioned, about the work. So there is a link that you can see later on. Maria said that it's not convenient for us to share the video, so
sorry, Maria, I said that when it is convenient for you, you
for
tell
me,
me the
so
time.
it was privately, okay. So now it's convenient because afterwards I will sum up our conversation in order to give the floor to the next panel.
Okay.
Within the community, we volunteer at local events, and an ambulance and crew would be provided free of charge. Our boat is owned and operated by a Thai enterprise centre, so it's a community barge. So any money that's made goes to the upkeep of the boat and to fund other community development projects in the area, which is great. Obviously boats are incredibly expensive, so there's not a lot of profit made on them because we keep our prices low. The main object of the Thai Boat Tours boat was to introduce as many people as possible to the joys of the waterways. We work for 19.5 hours a week providing tours for general tourists, but because of our wheelchair access, we also provide tours for wheelchair users, people with mobility issues. So we get a lot of clients from hospitals, nursing homes, residential care facilities. Because the demand, especially from this cohort of people, was so high for the boat, under a CE scheme we work 19.5 hours a week. But with the demand so high, we had to operate for 7 days a week. So myself, the other skipper and the crew members work voluntarily to fulfill the needs of all of the people who require our trips. It's a fantastic opportunity for people in wheelchairs to get out on the water, which you wouldn't otherwise be able to do.
And we're working with URBACT to try and integrate the communities. A lot of our clients would be in addiction, some in active addiction, some in recovery. And what we've seen is how, due to the self-stigmatization of the person, that's one obstacle that prevents them, first and foremost, of integrating into society. And our hope is that by working with URBACT, we may come up with ways around that with community projects. The one thing which we're hoping to, to work with URBACT on, it is the integration of our service users into the community. And I think it is to try and get the community to understand the impact of drugs on the person, on the family. And I think if we can work together on that, I think it's very encouraging.
So the last year has been, for everyone in this pandemic, has been tough. So we decided to set up a Facebook entertainment page based here in Athienou called Entertain Us Athienou COVID-19. It was set up an idea between myself and a local man called Noel O'Mara. set up basically at the start for musicians to put out pieces on Facebook in a group that could entertain people locally. I know from doing the community dinners around here, the amount of older people who are cocooning are using it every day and every night. They're using it to, I suppose, escape reality and get some sort of entertainment from Facebook. So it's working very well, and a lot of people were contacting Patricia to do birthday wishes to people in the town here. We actually went down as far as Carlow and Laois as well, so we crossed borders. So we dropped by, maybe give them some flowers and chocolates and sang happy birthday and maybe their favourite song, and the reactions to those, even to as last Friday we did one, and I think there's 2,000 hits on the video for a lady who was 90. So it's fantastic, really. People have really taken it on board, and as I say, it's not just a Thai anymore. It's gone worldwide with it.
Great, that's a very nice, it was a very nice video. Thank you for sharing with us. It was really nice to see all these things going on. So to wrap up a little bit, in order to make it to the third panel in a row, so I would like to pinpoint all the things that were said. If I can do, I will try to do my best. So the biggest challenge mentioned by Altena was that there is an existing structure. It could be open, but it's a growing structure, and this has been one of the biggest challenges of all. The intergenerational model used, for example, elderly people helping younger people and vice versa. It's I really like the term. It's a win-win situation for both young people and elder people. For example, the young people trying to explain new technological methods, especially now with the pandemic, that has helped a lot because there was this connection between these two parties. So the model has helped in Spain a lot to optimize forces, to have actions for better services, new flows. But I really like the part that Paloma said. There are more infos delivered to citizens, so people are aware of what's going on in their municipality. In Poland, we have the construction of a new day center. We have social projects, and there's a good level of a partnership and involvement of people and citizens in what the actions of the municipality are. Now, especially for the city of Espoo in Finland, they have been working towards the well-being of the community by volunteer work and personalize stronger partnerships between NGOs. So we have the creation of more opportunities. And of course, I really have to say that once more, that they are thinking of maybe have a more creation, the creation of more of the creation of festivals, being a little bit more creative, or a platform where they can put all the actions of the NGOs together in order to share it with other people. And now for the future, the suggestions could be the creation of having a manager in volunteerism in the municipalities in order to be more to the point, knowing how to talk to people, how to involve people, to participate in the social policies, maybe having a dedicated department for social policies in order to work with these. Other than that, I noted the premises that needed to be, let's say, renovated or offered to the NGOs in order to have something to work in, because they are all over, and they would need a place to work in, let's say, more specifically. And that's it from my side. I think I have summed up most of the things that were discussed in this panel. Thank you so much. I thank the panelists as well. And thank you as well, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Maria. And thank you all the Marias that participated, and also to those that are not Marias.
We couldn't bring more Marias in this panel, huh?
So thank you very much. And I am so sorry. I apologize for this problem with the video, but it seems that the computer of Stavros was having a problem, and now she changed computer and things are okay. So it is my pleasure then to pass to the next panel. That is exactly about the impact of all these results of volunteering participation on corporate citizenship. So how companies are involved in this, and which is the impact of that. And the moderator from this panel will be the other expert that was working with us in this issue, that is Luis Roberto. As I said already, the scheme of the panel is the same. Luis Roberto will introduce the team, then we will pass a very short video, and then we have the roundtable discussion. So please, Luis Roberto, the floor is yours.
Okay, Maria, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Boa tarde in Portuguese language. So good afternoon to everyone, and very welcome to the Corporate Citizenship Roundtable. So with the participation of Athienou, KAPOUTSI, and Arquidióceses City. So thank you all to joining us. My name, as Maria João said, my name is Luis Roberto, and during the next more or less 1 hour, we are going to debate corporate citizenship and the impact in the relationship between the community and the companies. Before that, I would like to congratulate URBACT Volunteering Cities for the organization of this final conference, and say thanks to our guests that has accepted this challenge or this invitation to share with us their experience. So I would like to introduce you. In first place, Helen Dowling from Athienou. Hello, Helen.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi. We have also Emília Cerdeira from Arquidióceses. Hi, Emília. Good afternoon. And Sérgio Campanella from KAPOUTSI.
Hi, Luis. Hi, Luis.
Hi, Sérgio.
But my cam doesn't work, it seems.
Sorry?
It has worked up to now, but it seems it doesn't work by now. I don't know why.
It's tired, Sergio.
Maybe.
Okay. So we have also invited the company to be with us today. So as far as I'm aware, the name of this company is Briso Bar. I think they are already on this around, so I cannot see them, but I believe that are around. And Briso Bar is a pizzeria with 25 years of experience, led by young people. So Andrew Rodrigues is the business owner of this pizzeria, and Dylan Brito is part of Rui's team. So welcome both to be on this conversation. So thank you very much to all to accept our invitation. So for the audience in general and during our conversation, so if you have any questions, so please raise it. Sorry. So I'm saying that for the audience. So during our conversations, if you have any questions, so please raise it using the chat. So as you can imagine, all questions are more than welcome. So I would like to say something about the corporate citizenship before we talk about in details with our guests. And talking about corporate citizenship is actually a recognition that a business has social, cultural, and environmental responsibilities to the community in which they are operating. Corporate citizenship is also the term that we normally use to describe the contribution that the business or organization makes to the local community beyond the legal obligations. Normally, these contributions include not only the company's core business activities, but also financial investments and volunteering actions in the local community. I have to say that in the current days, we can state that the success of the organization's long term depends on having favorable corporate citizenship, and according to some studies, it's a way to create trust in the market and also with the consumers. For this to happen, the companies must successfully engage with the employees at first stage, with the shareholders, with the business partners, with the customers, with, of course, the municipalities and governments and the rest of the community. So these relationships are vital for a business that wants to have successful financing and social standings within the community. In the recent years, and as a result of Sustainable Development Goals by United Nations, we have seen the strength of social integration and environmental concerns in addition to the economic ones. And I believe that in the near future, many leaders will link the sustainability not only with the core business, but also with the entire value chain conducted on a corporate strategy. One of the pillars of the citizenship is the corporate volunteering, no doubts about that. Companies are increasingly seeing the value that volunteering can bring to their business and the workforce. I have to say, and according to the academic studies, 65% of people are more likely to want to work for an employer that promotes volunteering opportunities, and 89% believe that the companies who sponsor volunteer activities offer a better working environment. In Portugal, the country where I come from, the biggest corporate volunteering program called GIRO, that I helped to create 10 years ago, has since the first edition 9,000 volunteers involved, more than 70,000 hours of volunteer working, 75 different locations from north to the south of the country were impacted by the several actions. 150 NGOs were benefited with the actions, and I have to highlight the participation of students from the 22 universities across country. The objective of GIRO is to promote through the year the intervention of employees in initiatives with impact on the community that can respond to the Sustainable Development Goals and the social problems of the country. To increase the cooperation between companies, public sectors, and organizations of social economy is also fundamental. COVID-19 has taught us that unless we cooperate, we will not be able to move towards whatever goals we are planning. And now, to conclude my introduction, and if it's possible, I would like to invite you to look at a small video of GIRO, which will show you a set of volunteering initiatives that took place since 2012. Stavrula, can we see the video? Can you put the sound a little bit lower, please? Thank you. So just to tell you that Giro name is the abbreviation of intervene, recover, and organize. And here we can see 3 volunteer actions in Lisbon and 2 other cities. So União Zoológica is in charge of more than 500 dogs and almost 200 cats. Red Nose, as you are seeing, or the Doctors Clowns Association as an intervention program in the pediatric hospital services. So Dive All is an initiative to facilitate diving into the sea for people with disabilities using special equipment, as you are seeing. This is an orienting special race, which has been created with CERSI, which is a social responsibility cooperative for handicapped people. So this is another forest cleaning action in Cascais, very close to Lisbon. Other 3 volunteer actions in the north of the country, close to Braga city. So 90 volunteers participating in SOS Children Village that works in the areas of protection, prevention, and emergency for children. Activities related with the painting and refurbishment of the installations of several NGOs. See, more actions took place all over the world, including Azores Island. Here, as you can see, all the volunteers have a certificate at the end of each volunteer action. This is the reforestation of national forest, which is called Mata do Psaca after a major fire. Mata do Psaca has about 250 different species of trees. So Casa do Gaiato is another association who takes care street children and young people at risk with no family. So this is again a refurbishment action. And here we can see the logos of the different companies involved. And we are close to the end. And another logo companies. And thank you, and a special thanks, and look forward to see you in the next year. So that's a video where we can see what we are doing with this initiative. So and as I said, this is the biggest volunteering program in Portugal. So now back to the round table, and to know exactly what cities are doing, and to discover the latest best practice and experience to pursue the working between the community and companies. So let's learn from the experience. And I know, and starting with or by Athai, I know that to Helen, you have a good story, and your story is about a group of 2 cafes and 2 restaurants, hotel and bed and breakfast. So my first question to you is, can you please tell us what is the main goal or the main objective of this project?
The main objective of this particular project was to actually support the older person living at home. The group of restaurants came together. There's 2 restaurants, 2 cafes, a hotel and a bed and breakfast. They worked very hard in supplying meals for the older person. Between 75 to 100 meals per day was actually issued out to the older people in Athai. The bed and breakfast actually cooked brown bread every day for all 100 of those, 75 to 100 of those particular people. They worked collaboratively together. So they didn't do it all every day, so they actually rotated it and had a rota on that. When the meals were made, they were actually delivered by volunteers. So what actually happened was that the volunteers delivering the meals built up a huge relationship with the actual people, the older people. To this day, even though the lockdown has sort of lifted and the meals have stopped, all through the lockdown this was actually happening. We had 4 lockdowns in Athienou, so just to let you know that.
Okay.
So basically, it just showed huge, I suppose, corporate citizenship, collaborative work, and the end product out of that is a great name for the businesses. Also, the links that the volunteers made, they're actually going to be continued after this particular project is over. Huge links were made by the volunteers, the community guards, the community workers, the volunteers and that sort of thing. So from our point of view, it was huge engagement piece, and it was fantastic to see the businesses actually coming together to give back to the community and give back to the older person, so they actually felt safe within their own homes. Also, the other side of it was when the volunteers appeared at the door, it was the only kind of connection that they actually had with the outside world on that particular time. Also, the needs of the older person, when the person was there delivering the volunteer, they would be asked, are they okay? Is there anything that they needed? So then the other side of it wasn't the social side, was if they needed appointments, if they needed their pension collected, if they had to go to see a doctor, anything like that, that was actually dealt with by the volunteers and brought back in to be actually dealt with around the table. So there was a lot of connection within the community. It was fantastic to see it happening, and it was great for the businesses, great for the older person, and fantastic for the volunteers to be a part of such a project, to be honest with you.
Good, very good. Can you tell us how many volunteers are participating on this?
How many volunteers were participating in that? There would have been about 20, because on different days, this was 7 days a week, so everybody had a rota.
Okay. And our intention or your plan is growing with this project for outside Athienou, or?
This project, well, it did actually happen on different levels in different towns that we were connected with. There was another one actually out in Moon, which they also got their food from the Athienou group. So there was actually another connection to another town. So that actually happened with all the lockdowns as well. So the particular group in Athienou that were supporting the food on that particular day actually then issued out as well out to another part of the community. So it was actually something that did actually spread wings.
Okay, good, good. I would like now to move to Capizzi, and hi Sergio, good afternoon.
Hi, it's a pleasure to see you again.
Okay, a pleasure also. So pleasure to.
Unfortunately, my webcam, the system says that it works, but in reality, it doesn't work at all. So I don't know.
Okay, no problems, no
problem,
problems. We are hearing you, so no problems. We can talk. We can talk. Okay, Sergio, in a different perspective, I know that you have created an action plan for the social economy, and at the end of the day, you were invited to disseminate the action plan to the other Italian cities.
Yes, exactly.
So, can you tell us which is this plan? So, what is the main goal or the main objective for the community and also for the social economy? Can you tell us, please?
Yes, as I had the chance to say this morning, the main objective of this action plan is the socioeconomic redemption of youngsters and women affected by, most of them, by long-term unemployment. And the social economy in Capizzi is something new to be disseminated, and through also special campaigns, and also through the participation that we had with our ULG, now NCD. So this action plan foresees a lot of possibilities for new startups having ideas in creating social economy-based companies, but also it foresees to finance projects submitted by enterprises already existing that want to invest into the social economy. And a part of that, there is also an ambience that we have created in order to sustain all the existing third sector organizations, associations, and the same municipality, and not only in order to better face the social emergency in the city, but also to attract more entrepreneurs into the social problems of the city by participating into the activities and events that are organized into the city. So it's an ambitious action plan that foresees a lot of connected actions that make change the attitude of entrepreneurs that so far they only participated in some municipal events by giving for free their products and not more than this. But through the work of this project and the pandemic that has given a sort of better push towards the spreading of this new culture of social economy, there are a lot of entrepreneurs that are investing themselves in first person for helping needy people, people who suffered from this pandemic, from the coronavirus, but also in perspective, they are investing in order to create new enterprises. And there was an example that is included into the action plan that was shared with the other cities, with Athienou too, that was one of recovering the wool that normally is abandoned as waste, and recovering this wool to make new activities, giving tips from ancient crafts in order to make new products based on reuse and use also of eco-compatible products, colors, and so on.
Okay.
So there are a lot of new possibilities for old entrepreneurs and new entrepreneurs investing in the social economy.
Okay, very good, Sergio. So I will be back to you. So as you can imagine, so we have a lot of questions that I would like to be raised. So I promise I will be back to you because I'm very curious about your ambition and or your plan. So now move to Arcos de Valdevez. So I'm seeing that you are already there. So the municipality and also this pizzeria, so in Arcos de Valdevez. And I know that Arcos, and due to the pandemic crisis, so you are now restarting a face-to-face conversations with ULGs and also consider the involvement of local companies in your project. So my first question to you is, at the moment and after the pandemic, well, after we are still living in the middle of a pandemic, what's the main challenge that you are facing at the moment regarding the involvement of the companies on these particular activities?
Hello, I was with Roberto. I was last saying boa tarde in Portuguese. So the main problem that we have here with the companies at the moment is that most of them are now recovering from the bad time caused by the pandemic period. So we have to re-engage them and motivate them to continue the project. because as we all we know, the main objective of that project is that the organization and cohesion of the project. So at that time, the main objective is the re-engage of all the economy and all the motivation of our companies.
Okay. So do you think that the motivation is now the big issue that you are facing?
Without a doubt.
Okay. Okay. And do you have plans for managing this lack of motivation?
Yes, the municipality last 3 or 4 months are created several support programs for the commerce, the restaurants and other companies to give them a positive sign of recovery and to can achieve their attention to the importance of the social work done by them. But certainly we can see that all of the enterprises are more concerned with the local social situation, and then they are already ready to help the community in need.
Okay. Okay, good. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Emilia, for your explanation. So I now move to the pizzeria, so in Arcos de Valdevia. So I'm very, very curious about your program. So if I ask you to deliver to me a pizza, I also receive a mask. So that's basically the project or the objective of your initiatives. Well, can you please tell us, 2 questions for you guys. So can you please tell us what actually is your project and what was your motivation? So a pizzeria that at a certain time decided, so I have to do something because we are in the middle of a crisis. There are people that need some support. So, and you decided, apart from the pizzas, which I believe are very good. So what other things are you delivering to the people around?
Okay, good afternoon for everybody. So to respond to the question, we in a certain part we could see people was like afraid to go in restaurants and to ask for, because of the works, also because they are like afraid to losing their jobs, so they are not spending so much money. So what was the idea to cover this crisis? So we start to create some promotions. When they was asking for like food or drinks or something else, we was like saying if they did like a buying with above 10 euros or something like this, we give a mask, we give alcohol gel, and they were like every time asking for the mask, alcohol gel, and we were saying like, okay, for each delivering, we was giving like a mask and giving an alcohol gel. But why we innovating this process? The problem was when we start the pandemic situation, we need to close by the government, and we was like doing only delivering, and for a restaurant like us, doing only delivering is not so easy, because we was like used to receive 200 people or something like this every day, and now we are like receive like 50 people, 60 people, and for us it's not like so good. We have not like the profit enough to survive, so why not giving masks and alcohol gel, doing promotions, doing create giveaways, create another things like free deliverings, sometimes above like a certain price, like 25 euros or something like this. And the idea was so good, people was like every time asking, and now we have more deliverings than people going to restaurants.
So, but Rui, I would like to know, so what was the reaction of the community when you start this new, shall we say, social support service? What was the reaction?
Okay, at the beginning was like a little bit, you know, people was like untrustful. Like they was like, okay, we're gonna ask for food, like our country. If you can pass, please, you know, if you can see in the north, we are in the north of Portugal, and Arcos Valdez is like the largest country of the district in the geographic area. And if we see the municipality of Arcos Valdez, we can see the place are very far away from the center of Arcos. So they was like afraid if the food was not like warm, and it was like if we spend too much time to go there or something like this, because we talk about the roads here is like municipality roads. So we need to do like a game. We need to play like Tetris. We need to, if we have 3 deliverings to that zone, we need to put these three deliverings at the same time. And we talk to the people. For this delivering, we need to go there at 7:30. So people was like,
okay,
at the beginning was like afraid, but now they trust us, and they prefer eat at home than go to restaurant, because they feel more safe, and I think they trust us in the food, the quality food, and they are very happy with us.
And you are keeping the quality food, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's curious because you are actually balancing the business, your business proposal, together with the social needs, which is good. And I think other companies around have to take a look of what you are doing and try to also to replicate the project. So I need now to back to Ellen. Ellen, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. So Elena, we would like also to know, because we said that you are working with the 20 volunteers. So we got also 2 cafes, 2 restaurants, an hotel, a bed and breakfast. So a lot of people, a lot of staff are involved. So what worked effectively for a good mobilization of these different companies to the corporate citizenship? So what worked effectively in your opinion?
I suppose the pandemic itself actually really spurred them on to actually work collaboratively together. What happened in the beginning was that 2 or 3 of them actually worked together, and then while the others saw it, the other businesses saw how they were doing, they wanted to get involved as well. So there was a lot more got involved at the end of the actual project. I suppose for them, it was their companies were getting their name out there. They were actually being seen as doing something very positive for the community. So it actually helped them to, I suppose, get their name out there, get the ethos of their business model within the businesses that they're running. So it really helped them, I suppose, you know, integrate into the town and really give themselves a good positive name.
Okay, very good. So another question to you, Ilan, because we as a business world, we cannot forget that at the end of the day, so our shareholders are always looking to the profits. So, in your personal opinion, and according to your experience, so which are the main reasons for the involvement of the companies? Well, I would say in general terms, it's a question of image, it's a question of community belong, it's the way I can contribute to the SDGs. So what do you think about that?
I think, you see, there were so many of them involved in that. Okay, so each company had possibly a different, sorry. Oh, so yeah. Sorry. What would have actually happened was that, now you have to turn me off, sorry, my apologies. Some of them would have come in, the companies would have come in to, I suppose, looking at for a positive image. Others was to actually attract staff. They came in for different reasons doing this particular model, working together. I suppose it was just good practice. A lot of the companies just help to engage with their employees, to give their place a good name, to give their place a good model and that sort of thing. So that's really, I suppose, from where we're coming from. I know it was, it's for profit, but also the community actually, or the council supported them in this particular action as well. So they did get some funding from the council. So just to bear that in mind as well, to make sure that this project actually was delivered for the community as well. Okay?
Okay, it sounds good, So now move to Sergio and Capizzi. So I'm a little bit curious about how does the corporate citizenship impact in the social cohesion of the city. So because we are involving the social economy together with the citizens or with the volunteers, with the companies. So does the corporate citizenship impact in the social aspects of the different communities?
Yes, at the beginning, as I said, they only participated when there were some events giving as a donation their own products. During the pandemic, they have given all their products for free for needy family, for ill people, and they now make part of some associations, like, for example, the Proloco for tourism purposes and also the protection of the culture and environmental heritage. But they also participate into new associations like the one called Noise, that is an association for rescuing, and it's connected with the National Civil Protection. And they participate actively with some of their exponents to the activities of these kind of associations. Apart from that, they want to participate and invest in new projects, especially thought for the social economy, as the one for the rescue of the wolves, but also for other kind of social economy projects. And so there is an increasing interest of above all new young entrepreneurs to make joint ventures with long-term unemployed young people and women. And this is a very interesting news for Capizzi, where before the entrepreneurs were not so involved in social matters.
Okay, good. So tell me one thing, because you are now responsible for all the social economic for the social economy across Italy. So suppose you that I am a company, a normal company, that I want to start working with the social economy, so to get involved. So what's your recommendation? What should I do, or what should I ask if I am an Italian or a Portuguese or whatever company and I want to start to work with them? So what's your recommendation?
If you stay in Capizzi, you have the examples that the NCV will share with all the citizenship, and also in the action plan is foreseen a special campaign of sensitization towards the citizens and above all entrepreneurs. If you are all over Italy, there are a lot of hubs in Italy that take this kind of projects and that help you if you want to create a new enterprise. So we can furnish, we can provide different addresses where you can ask news in order to create a new enterprise. But most of all, we can show what we've made with this project, with Volunteering Cities project, and the contents of the action plan that, as the National Association of Municipalities in Italy thinks, it's a good example of action plan specially thought for social economy and investing into social economy, because there are a lot of suggestions that we give. But in order to make this, we have to meet and have a special social days where we show which kind of social economy projects you can put forward.
Okay,
And
okay.
we are also we have also a lot of hubs in our territory that show how the social economy enterprises work.
Okay, okay. So move now to Arcos de Valdevez. Emilia, so I would like to know, and according to your experience, so and probably this is not the first time that you are involving the business and the companies to join your action plan. So, but do you think that the companies involved report that their commitments bring better perspectives for the business? So at the end of the day, they are happy with the participation of with the activities that you are creating or planning?
Of course, I think that because for some of them, the participation in the program was one of the better publicity that they can have. So when we see some companies or enterprises that they have a logo or some question in our municipal site or Facebook or in our communication that they are involved and they are committed to all the programs. They have here one of the best publicities that they can achieve. Principles for the people that they hire from houses, but they don't here in Arcos, they are at other countries and see our publicities and our publications. And when they came here for holidays or for visiting the family, when they see that companies and they can understand the compromise, the commitment of that enterprises to the social affairs, it's very good for them.
Okay, thanks, Emilia. Very good. So for Rui and for our pizzeria, so tell me one thing. It was easy for you to convince or to motivate all your employees to be part of this new special service. So because at the end, probably when you have recruit your employees, you said, well, guys, you need to deliver pizzas to the different places around in Arcos, Valdevez, and around. But now you need to do this. So it was easy, or do you have create an engagement process to make sure that the employees understood what you have planned to do?
At the beginning, it was not so easy because, when we need to redefine the process model, like we need to experiment, how to say this, we need to experiment and we need to try to find new ways to work, because before we was like used to like the restaurants, going to the tables, asking for food without mask. It was easier. Now we need to be different in part of hygienic process. We need to be different in the part of delivering process also. Before we was like having 20, 30 delivering per day, and now we have like almost the triple. Okay. It's too different. Before we was probably 8-9 persons working inside the restaurants and 2 or 1 sometimes doing delivery, and now we have more people working in delivery. And the employees, one of the good things, we have a young team, so it's easier to understand. We have an open mind, so we are a good team. We are like very solidary, and we have no problems.
Okay.
And now everything is okay. We now we have like today. We was not expecting for so much people.
Okay.
Today we fill the restaurant.
Okay,
And we
Rui.
have like delivering also.
Rui, can you tell me one thing? After you implemented this new model or this new process, do you see that there are also many other companies doing exactly the same as you? Or Emilia, you want to say something?
No. Some companies they tried, but was not like so successful. It's normal because when the delivering food, it was like already a process in our company, and
Okay.
in the other companies was not a process. We see some companies trying to get in the delivering business, but without success because people know how we work, but they don't know how the other works.
I can say something.
Yes, Emilia, say something.
They are a big example for other companies. But as they say, they have 25 years of experience. So they have a big experience in delivering food. And they are one of the most experienced companies in delivering food in our district. So they are a big example for the newest companies doing the delivering food. But yes, for the others are a big example. But it's difficult for them because they don't have so much experience and so many people working in that.
If I can
Okay. So in your opinion, Emilio, so what is still missing? So what we can do as a community to convince or to bring more companies to be part of this? I would say to be part of this game.
Principle, I think that if they can understand the importance of recognizing, being recognized by the society like a big company and a big social company, that was the most important. And the sharing the good examples and the sharing program of the good examples, I think it's the most important role that we can do for other people came to the project and to the social responsibility.
Okay. So Ellen, are you also facing this kind of issues that Emilia has mentioned or not? Inata is a little bit different or exactly the same kind of things? Ellen? We are not
hearing, sorry.
Okay, thanks.
It's turned off. I suppose in Athienou we would have similar issues and stuff like that. With the model we have, a lot of our business takeaways and that sort of thing, a lot of them change to takeaways and services like that, but not necessarily the service that the guys were supplying. But yeah, we will be looking possibly at something like that into the future. Yeah.
Okay, good. So I've got a final question for all of you because someone told me that we should close this roundtable a little bit earlier. So I will try to do it. So I have a final question for all of you. So and actually, what I would like to know, and probably starting with you, Helen, what are the plans for the future? So I think you are very happy what the status of your project at the moment, but think about future. Think about what the pandemic crisis show us or have shown to us. So what's your plans for the future as a city?
As a city, we would be looking to, I suppose, sustain the model, actually put a proper action plan in place. Looking at sustainable energy in communities would be another side of it. So we would be getting a consultant in to actually come up with a proper action plan for the SDGs and for sustainable development going forward.
So you are going to concentrate on sustainable development goals,
yeah,
or you will be more focused on that?
On that, yeah, going forward. It would be
Okay.
part of the new, as say, a high volunteer committee going forward. So as the project is ending, we will be continuing.
And do you think that the community in general, they are aware about the SDGs and what they look like, or?
Possibly that is a piece of work that we will actually have to take on board. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
No problem. Yeah.
Good. Good.
Some parts of the
Serge,
community.
sorry?
I say some parts of the community would know about them, other parts not. So getting a whole cohesive approach to it. Okay.
Okay. Good. Good. Thanks. So exactly the same question to you, Sergio, because we are now becoming the national manager for social economy plan. So what about the future? What you would like to see?
No, it's not like that, but I think that due to the results we had and the reactions at national level, for us it's very important to create, I don't think a national network, but it would be better for me a regional one with neighboring cities that can invest on the social economy, that can share action plans based on the social economy, and that can find resources that there are a lot of resources available for this kind of investments. Only our action plan responds to at least 10 SDGs. So, you know, the new programming period for the EU funding, it's strictly linked to be responsive to SDGs objectives. So we are in the right way. We are having a lot of success, and this is a good indicator for us. For sure, our protagonist is the MCV as the direction cabin where all these activities will be managed. So the MCV has been a real good practice for us. And the involvement at 360 degrees of all the stakeholders of a city coming from the quintuple helix are the secret of the success of all these practice that we do.
Okay, good. And Sergio, a final question to you. So, do you believe or do you think that the social economy is prepared for these challenges? So, when I'm saying prepare, I'm talking about the skills, the competencies around that. So,
yes, I think that at the beginning there is not so preparation in general, but it's a repeating experience that every time we show what is the social economy, what is capable to produce the social economy, many people get convinced that this is one of the most important ways to have a real redemption, most of all in this period of pandemic.
Okay, good, good. So the same question to Emilia. So what's your plans for the future?
Our plans here in the municipality is the duplication or replication of some of our programs to help the enterprises. And I think with that help, and that part of the help of the municipality can convince them to come again to the program and to motivate them to do something important and very important to the community and to reinforce the community and society of Arcos in that post-pandemic, I can't call it post-pandemic situation.
Okay, so regarding the relationship with these various, so I would say, stakeholders, and please use just one word to highlight what is the good thing for you regarding the relationship. Can you use just or share a word?
Hope.
Sorry?
Hope.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Hope.
Hope. Hope. Good. Rui, using just one word. So how can you highlight the relationship that you created with the people that you are delivering your both service? So I mean pizzas and the masks and all the other stuff.
We can say friendship.
Friendship. Good. Ellen, about your community in Athai, how can you use just one word?
Amelia used it. I suppose success. Overcome. Success and overcome. Anyway, yeah.
This is 2 words.
I know.
Okay, and Sergio, so I really like your project, so I think it's a fantastic challenge. But regarding the relationship, so which word do you select?
But like Helen, I don't know if it's better saying involvement or engagement. So one of the two. It's your choice.
What do you prefer? Engagement?
Maybe yes.
Maybe yes. Okay. Well, I think we are close to the end, so I think this is a very good conversation, and probably we will use, or if we have opportunity, we can keep the conversation during this afternoon, but we have to close the session. So so I would like just to share you a lot of conclusions that during our conversation I have the opportunity to write on a white paper. So I think, first of all, I think it's quite curious because we have, even when we are talking about the same subject, so we have completely different scenarios. So we have a reality in Athai, and we have a different reality in Arcos de Valdevez. So, I think the important, when we are talking about the relationship and how to bring all people together, is to accept that there are always differences. Okay, there are always differences. And the important thing is, on the beginning, we have to make a diagnosis and see where we are and what we have to do. And don't forget that we are all good in the different aspects, in the different matters, but create relationship and communicate in the proper way with these all people is vital and is very fundamental. So I also wrote on my paper that the pandemic crisis show us a lot of things. One of them are good things and the other are bad things. But I think the companies, and despite all the economic crisis, are now much more open to participate and to be involved. So let's take this wave. Let's take this wave and try to bring the companies and the business in general to be part of this game, as I said. I also wrote on my paper that Sergio mentioned that there are some technology helping the municipalities and community and business in general to try to identify which areas we can work together. And Sergio spoke about that in Italy there are a lot of apps. So I'm not seeing that the same kind of technology or facility exists in Europe. Probably in our, shall we say, in our municipalities, we have to think about how technology can help us to manage, to control, to identify, and to put all things in the right place. And no doubt that technology is mandatory for all the things that we are managing in the current days, and no doubt that the citizenship is also an important part that needs help from the technology. Another aspect that I wrote is about motivation. So we cannot forget that motivate people to be part of this boat or this game is important. So, and in order to have the people motivated, so we have to start by our employees, by our teams within the municipalities, and we have to use communication, as the English normally says, crystal clear. So don't forget that if we are not able to communicate in a proper way, probably we are going to create some confusions, and at the end we are talking about greenwashing. So about the future, so action plans, as Elaine said, so I think we cannot forget companies and the communities and also municipalities have to have in mind that the Sustainable Development Goals are there. So, and there is a huge challenge to the companies to implement the targets until 2030. And if we have, or if we want to have the companies on board, we have also to try to identify in which direction the companies are going at the moment. And no doubt, the SDGs is part of the business agenda at the moment. So please use the SDGs to try to bring more companies and more players to the game. Sergio also said that probably, well, from time to time we have to think about at more regional terms. So probably we have to think about how can we be organized at the regional level. So as I said before, if we cannot cooperate, it will be very hard, or it will be impossible to achieve our targets. So please think about how can we, and I think this URBACT volunteering cities is a very good example. So how can we combine, how can we see all the different cities and people are working across Europe and try to put together the best practice, the lessons learned, the experience, etc. I think it's a good example of how can we be organized at the regional level. And finally, so, and I'm going to use our words, but we all hope that the friendship, it will be a success, and also the engagement. So guys, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your contribution, for your inputs and highlights. So, and I'm back to Maria João.
Thanks to you.
Thank you very much to Roberto for this good moderation, and also to all the panelists that made the session very interesting. So my suggestion is that now we make a very short break, only with time to open the window and breathe 2 times and then close it again, that we can re-begin. And so at 16:15, we would make then our final panel, so that we can finish at 5:15 to end this fantastic day. So please, 15:15, we are here all again. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Τώρα quiz με πιέμα. Εντάξει, μικροφωνίζει λόγω του τηλεφώνου. Βάλω mute να δούμε την κάμερα.
So here we are again for this marathon of today.
Marathon, yes.
So we are now going to our final panel of this session of 4 panels. And now it is the impact on education. So how all this process really impacts in education, that education can then impact again positively in this whole process. So, well, the moderator will be the mayor, KYRIAKOS from this good practice. And so I think I don't need to say anything else because he knows as much as I do about all this process. Please, KYRIAKOS, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Maria. This is the last panel of our conference, and we are all in the difficult position to be at the end of a tiring day. We are all exhausted, but I think we can extract, Maria, from the success that I also think that our meeting had in order to continue. The objective of the panel is to identify the main impacts on the education of children and young people concerning volunteering activities. Before we start, I would like to introduce the members of our panel. I am lucky, Maria, to have 4, not Marias as earlier, but ladies. So I have Helen from Athienou. We saw her at the previous panel. Petra Dovic, if I am not wrong, Petra.
Yes.
Yes, so, okay. So representing the city of Pregrada, Petra.
Yeah, that's right. Hello, everyone.
I have Manuela Pasos Silva from Viana do Castelo and the Transfer Network Playful Paradigm.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here representing Viana do Castelo and our network, Playful Paradigm.
It's a pleasure to have you with us, Manuela. And I also have Christiana Rukopu, a teacher from Athienou, an active member of our ULG, who also has the opportunity to travel to Athienou at the meeting of our network there. Hello, Christiana. Christiana, do you hear? Can you hear us?
She doesn't hear us. She has a problem with the audio, and we will try to.
Okay. But I hope she can hear us. So now, I can say that children and young people can be a main factor for volunteering activities. We have seen that long time in Athienou. Their education and their involvement from early stage makes them to be keen to be involved in volunteering actions. The involvement of youngsters is very crucial in order to be able to sustain volunteerism. We talk all the time and we try to find ways to sustain volunteerism. Sustainability of volunteerism comes from the youngsters. Therefore, the aim is to give to children and young people the right motive in order that they would like to be involved into volunteering activities. One question somebody might raise is, why is volunteering important for youth? Youth is for sure important for volunteerism, but why is the vice versa? Why is volunteering important for youth? What do you think, members of the panel? We can answer it later with the other questions we will have. It's true that while we should support youth volunteerism to better our communities and to sustain volunteerism, children and young people who volunteer will also see and feel transformation within themselves. Many of these youth, the children and other youngsters, say that all the time to us. In Athienou, we have many young people in volunteerism, school volunteerism a lot, and we see that and we hear that this volunteerism transforms themselves. There are many ways volunteering can lead to success for children and young people, like to develop transferable skills, to make a real change in their lives, support academic success, build safer communities, foster lifelong engagement, and many, many others. But I would like to start with Helen and ask her if there was an increased participation and volunteering by children and youngsters in Athienou during this period, this 3 years journey we had. Athienou was from the 2 first cities that entered the first phase of our network. And I would like to know if there was an increased participation.
Yeah, I suppose that's high. The impact would have been that ULG worked with the community college around visiting St. Vincent's Hospital, and especially around interaction in 2019. They put on an afternoon of music. They were about to embrace on the Adopt a Grandparent project, where their TY students were once a week going to have a walking activity with the older person. And this was around to build links with the older person, to have intergenerationality. And unfortunately, because of COVID, that actually was stopped, but it will be re-engaged. The ULG met with the School Michael to engage them around taking part in volunteering work and to participate in the colouring competition around volunteering. They participated in the competition. They also participated in a clean-up in the Tidy Towns group. The kids enjoyed the work in Tidy Towns. They imparted their knowledge around helping to keep the environment healthy and the importance of biodiversity. The young people from the Garda Youth Diversion Project engaged in to be taught around how to make flower boxes, and they donated them to the community house for the community to enjoy. They, along with the kids from the Gael School, made greeting cards and Christmas cards for the older person in the hospital. The impact of these actions were around the children thinking about others and giving to the older person. And that was important. Our school, Tringoida, engaged with the Lions Club around bringing in non-perishable food into the school. The Lions Club actually had a campaign for collecting non-perishable food and money. So coming up to Christmas 2020 and 2019, the students bagged the boxes and boxed up the food into parcels for St. Vincent de Paul. The impact of cooperation and collaboration between the community groups to effect change for the less well off, it was a very important factor for the schools. Also, the Scouts went around giving out presents to the different wards in the hospital. This instilled a sense of giving is good, and it improved the nature of children. The impact of bringing the school system more to the community level and the participation of is good for the pupils as well as for the older person in building a sense of nurture, consideration for others that are less well off, and that giving is means an awful lot. So there was a lot of participation that did happen in Athienou. Because of the pandemic, we couldn't get out as much as we wanted to, and the schools, we couldn't interact with the hospitals or the nursing homes because they were literally shut down. So we had to look at different ways in which we could actually work together. So that's kind of what has happened in Athienou through the project. There are other things that would have happened as well, but I mean, from our point of view, the schools definitely engaged with us and engaged with the ULG and the model for getting out there and volunteering.
Helen, thank you very much. I will come back to you a little later. I would like to go to Petra. Petra had a big success, a recognized success with this volunteering network. Did the volunteering cities events you made, Petra, brought more children and young people to be keen of volunteering?
Yes, we are so happy to be part of this great project because more and more children and young people are involved in volunteering. For example, an initiative of representative of Pregrada's High School in our URBACT local group, with the support of school principal and professors, students of Pregrada High School started implementing good practice in providing physiotherapy services on school premises to pensioners. So pensioners are delighted with the availability of therapy and the expertise of students, and students are also very satisfied. They think of this as an opportunity for them to improve their skills, not only in physiotherapy, but also social skills that are manifested in relation to the patient. The goal of this practice is not only therapy, but it also achieves intergenerational solidarity and communication between young people and the elderly. As you said in the beginning, children's participation, involvement from very young age is very important. And I think that children's participation becomes important to children when they have a reason to believe that their participation will influence some changes. Like Child participation from early childhood develops awareness and desire for active participation further in the future. So in Pregrada, it is common for our educational institutions to involve children and ask for children's opinions on those topics that seem to be important to children. Our children.
Do you think that their participation now with what you said with the physiotherapy and other local skills, etc., will sustain in the future, or is it temporary because you had these events and they saw the volunteering activities, etc., or do you think will sustain, and why do you believe that? Because our problem is to sustain youngsters in volunteerism. What do you think?
Yes, I think that it will sustain because this intergenerationality brought together individuals of different generations so they can learn and share with each other. And thanks to the project, children and youngsters became richer for knowledge. But most of all, they become aware that caring and participating in the life of community is very important and should start at a very early age. It should start with children, and these children will one day become adults and spread their further experience and knowledge.
Okay, very well, thank you very much. I would like to go to Manuela. Manuela, I leave Christiana last but not least, since she comes from Athienou. And since Manuela is from another transfer network, I would ask her first to tell us a few things about playful paradigm. We know that it has educative messages passed by games, and has this way of learning developed more solidarity and citizenship in the children and youngsters of the partners of your network?
Hello. Yes.
Yes,
What I can say about this, our network it's based off the games and how the games can contribute to the exchanges in the sectors of our community, especially people with some difficulties. And we have a strong social network, and it was easier for us to implement this program with the good practice we have seen in Udine. And I can say that the pandemic situation helps to have a strong solidarity between the youngest and people, because we can't do almost our activities in the field because we work with the groups, elder people, disabled people, which are people from risk, and we can, with the young people, to reinvent some ways of work with social networks, with broadcast, with YouTube, with another skills to continue to promote the intergenerational changes and support to these people.
very well. Stavroula, we forgot to play the video. I would ask Christiana one of the questions, and then we shall play it and we continue after that. So, Christiana, are you there now? Christiana?
Give her a second.
Can you hear me now?
Christiana,
Can you
hi.
hear me now?
We can hear you, of course. Welcome.
Stavroula?
Stavroula can hear you and me.
Okay, so I'm muting, I'm turning on the phone.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize. There has been an issue with the connection. I am Christiana. Mayor introduced me earlier. So you can hear me. Unfortunately, I cannot hear you unless Stavroula puts her speaker on the phone. So, Mr. Mayor, what was exactly the question? Was it about how the participation was increased among the children?
Christiana, Athienou has a long-lasting tradition in school volunteering. You are a teacher in Athienou schools for some years. Can you tell us which positive effects on children and young people brought the intergenerationality?
Sorry, the positive effects, you asked me?
On children and young people, on youngsters, on the children of the
Okay. Okay, so I will turn off the phone again, and you can only hear me. I won't be able to hear you, okay, for a few minutes.
Okay.
Thank you for the question. So now you hear me. There has been so many positive effects because of this intergenerationality tradition we have in Athienou, and especially in our schools. First off, young children get to know that grown-ups can be fun to be with. Second, they can interact with elder people in a productive and creative way. In other words, it's about a win-win situation, because at the same time, elderly people gain from the freshness and the vividness and the innocence of young people. What's more, they get to realize how much they can trust these people, young people I mean, and how proud they must be for the new generation. This trust can be communicated back to young people through their common activities, through their discussions, sports activities they used to take together, and physical activities, etc. And as youngsters and younger children gain confidence, this confidence, we could see it clearly, the teachers, during the whole school year that was achieved. And they also gain valuable knowledge and wisdom from those people that have lived so much longer than themselves. Some people had actually the time to spend some quality time with their real grandparents, not just elder people that didn't live with them at home, but at the nursery house. All in all, it has been about as a win-win situation, as I said at the beginning. So Stavroula, you can call again so I can actually listen to some extra questions about this subject.
Yeah. What I will say so that everybody will hear is that on the 15th of April, we had our national event about volunteerism, about the future activities we are planning, etc. And there was a teacher, two teachers actually, who were going to show the activities, the volunteering activities in school. And we had them 15 minutes to talk, and they brought a video that would take more than an hour, and we had to cut because they have so many activities in school volunteering activities that it was tremendous. Stavroula, I think we shall watch the little video and then we continue.
KYRIAKOS,
Yes. Yes.
If I could say something, but I think now it's someone who is making a presentation. I can talk in the end.
Manuela, we will watch a small video 2-3 minutes, and we get back again.
Yes.
Speriamo di superare l'individualismo e di collaborare tutti insieme per realizzare una realtà sociale ricca e prosperosa.
We have an underage unit here at the cadets from the age of 10 to 16, and we have about 30 cadets here, and they would meet on a weekly basis before the pandemic. The cadets would also come on duty with the adults and learn life-saving skills. So the benefits of volunteering, you gain confidence in trying things, you meet new people, you learn life-saving skills, you take on new challenges, you have fun, and you give back to the community, which is the most important thing.
It's so nice to see that so many countries and so many people, strangers, came to Prevela just to explore this wonderful city and just to, work on this project and make our lives even better.
Thank you, Stavroula. Manuela, just 1 second, please. We saw some children trying to plant some stuff at the elder house of Athienou, this Kleathios elder house. And I remember after I became a mayor 4 or 5 years ago, and I went there, there was an old man, and I went to him. He was sitting cucumber. And I asked him, which cucumber was the best cucumber you ate in your life? And he said, the cucumber that they brought me, that it was planted from the children of the school. It gives them some kind of, it's a different feeling, some other kind of feeling. So, Manuela, you wanted to say something.
What I want to say, it's very connected with the film we have just saw. I want to share another experience we have made here in Viana do Castelo in the project of the playful paradigm, but as I was said, we have some difficulties to implement the actions in the field, and so we are creating another ways, like a project we called largest online or elder people online, a project to digitally inclusion of more than 500 elder people, which are in homes or in residence, with the delivery of tablets. And this project involves the students of the Academic Federation of our school, IPVC, who are invited to adopt an elderly person without a family and living in the home, so that, and they must weekly make a video call, and these video calls are articulated with our voluntary bank of the municipality, with the objective of creating links and bonds between generations. And we learned about this, and with this project, that this network can help to valorize even more the playful activities to promote the interaction between generations. And I saw the film, and we have seen physically some activities which Viana do Castelo was doing, but with the social networks, because physically it's not possible, because we have some very hard months due to the pandemic situation and the COVID-19.
Yes. Okay, Helen, coming back to you again. How is the new participation model developing in the future? What is being done in Athienou in this regard? How will you cope with this?
Okay, I suppose from our point of view going forward, as intergenerational model is a key piece of work for Athienou, we're reconnecting again and being reinforced by the reaction of the likes of the Athienou Community College. We're going back to them again about delivering the grandparenting programme. It's in the pipeline again. They also have a group called the Beautiful Noise Choir, which is a group of older people. We are looking to get the ULG involved in it, but we're actually looking for the students to get involved with the actual choir. So we're looking to have an intergenerational choir active in the college. It is envisaged that they will be recording discs, and we're also looking for them to put on a concert, and hopefully both will be sold to create funding for St. Vincent de Paul and also the St. Vincent's Hospital. The Arts Culture Nova, which is another secondary school, have also expressed an interest in this intergenerational activity, and they have come forward themselves, and we're looking to explore with them art classes, music development, the walking club, and Kildare Age Friendly, which is actually a group set up by Kildare County Council, and it is a group of older people, and they're looking forward to getting engaged in this particular pursuits as well. So we're opening it out even further than Athienou. As I said, the municipality of Athienou has 1,723 secondary students, 2,072 primary, and in the district we have our own town 9 preschools, but in the district 15 preschool services. So we'll be looking forward to going out to meet them, to reach out to them, to engage them around volunteering. We have then on the youth side, we also have the extern, which is the Garda Youth Diversion Project. We have KYS, which is Kildare Youth Services. We have Aintus Ogra, which is a youth group. We have a newly formed Feroiga coming into Athienou. And then we have the youth council, which is Portland and Oak. So we'll be working with all of those going into the future around intergenerational work. Okay, so with all these avenues to be explored, engagement around the opportunities for volunteers and for society going forward. We will also be engaging with the Erasmus scheme, and we're looking for Erasmus for people to go from Athienou out into the community or out into other countries. But just to note, I was talking to the principal of the community college, and the Erasmus scheme, because England have pulled out obviously of the EU, the school is actually inundated with requests for Erasmus as well. So there's huge opportunities there to make links. So hopefully going forward, there'll be a lot of activity around intergenerational work within our community and in our MD area. Okay.
Very well, thank you very much. Stavroula, I would like to make another question to Christiana, who is a teacher, who works with the...
I think she can hear us.
Yes,
Okay.
I am with you now, Mr. Mayor.
Very well, Christiana. So, as a teacher, Christiana, you have come across many volunteering actions of children. Which can the participation of children in volunteering bring to the development of their soft skills, diversity, tolerance, etc.? You work with them and you can have a better idea than us. What can you say about it?
Sure. This is a very important question, I believe. No doubt, volunteering bring children to an advanced development of their soft skills. Let's take one by one. Let's take diversity. How can diversity get improved through volunteerism? The children from the age of 6 and later when they're in high school, they learn through real life activities that the world is not just us, young people, and the globe doesn't go around just for us, which is very important for young people. What's more, tolerance is another soft skill that it's very important for these ages to be developed. The children, through this process of volunteerism with elder people, they say if we can be patient with people that are maybe slower in their movements or in their speech, or maybe they forget a little bit, we can sure gain so much knowledge and wisdom from them. So it's what I said in the previous question. It's they get to realize that it's about a win-win situation. Empathy, which is so important, especially during these times we all have to go through now with the pandemic. They feel how these older people are tired and how much they need their smile and their vividness. And they actually get connected with them through their heart. It's like a heart connection. And as teacher, we see this happening. You saw the video and the pictures before. Volunteerism. Through volunteerism, with this specific group of people, the elder people, this idea becomes part of their lives, and they seek to offer volunteerism in other situations as well. For instance, now with the pandemic situation, these children are so much, how can I say, they really want, they need to offer their help in any way to other group of people that they are in need now due to the pandemic. These are just some of the soft skills that we want to develop in these early ages of the children. Also respect. I think there is very obvious how respect gets developed. This I can say. I don't know if you want to ask me something.
Cristiano, I think you covered it very well. Since Maria wants us to end as soon as possible, since we are all tired, I would like to ask one question to all of you, just to comment. As I said earlier, volunteering activities are very good, and we want to have young people and children in these activities, and to sustain volunteerism, we need the youth, etc. But how does this volunteering, why is it important for the young people? Why the young people to want to come to volunteerism? As I said earlier,
volunteering is good to have the youth people. And if we have the youth, we have sustainability, etc. But why is it good for the youth? Can you think why in Prekrada is good for the youth to be in volunteering actions or in the other cities? Petra, can you start?
But as I said, they improve their social skills, which is very important for their future, for when they're adults.
Anything else? I said earlier that the involvement of these youngsters, it makes them to change themselves. They transform within themselves. So one is this social thing, but can you think of anything else? It's true that when they grow and they are in volunteerism, they grow differently than other people that they are in drugs, other youngsters that they are in drugs or other bad activities. So this volunteerism transforms themselves. So one is these social skills they get. And what else? I don't know if I give you a time at this tiring day, at the end of this tiring day.
True.
Manuela, do you think something, or Helen, Christiana?
I suppose from a Thai's point of view, it's the nurture of giving, the nature of giving and nurturing and learning kindness and consideration. They're building a load of skills there that will actually set them up for the future, build them as a quality character going forward. And that's important, but also then the recognition of what they do is also important, and how they're seen in society. So I think that's important. And the good practice that from Athienou, that really proves that. Yeah.
Yes, very well. Now, Maria, I think I will summarize some things we said and we'll end it. I think we have said most of the things. It's there is 5 o'clock, 4 in Portugal, but here is 6 right now. So Helen told us that due to the pandemic, and I think in all cities this was happening, we had increase in volunteering actions from youth, and it's an important factor for the schools. It is reinforced in the schools, this volunteerism, the involvement in ULGs, the intergenerationality in college, engaging many activities to accomplish that. And I think Athai is doing a very good work. Petra said that at the events of the project, more youngsters were involved in volunteering activities. We had this physiotherapy and other local skills, etc. And through intergenerationality, volunteering will sustain, since it brought different generations to work together. Playful paradigm, transfer network based on the games and to pass messages through the games. I understand that it was not only our network that during the pandemic worked well and helped people in need, but through games we pass messages to people in need and in playful paradigm. The pandemic situation, as Manuela said, helps to have strong solidarity between young and older people. And Christiana said that she mentioned the effects of intergenerationality and how they interact, the youngsters with the older in many ways, many activities between youngsters and other people and elder people in Athienou. And volunteering helps in developing the soft skills of children. I think it's something we all agree. Volunteerism is something that exists and will exist. Its sustainability has to do with the involvement of youngsters, children and young people. We start from the young people. You saw in the video in Athienou at the Elder House, they take the children from the schools there and they make with the old people various things all together. And you see the old people very happy, and the youngsters being very happy, because this intergenerationality helps in sustaining the whole matter. Thank you very much, all the panelists and all the people who helped us. Thank you very much.